There's a big difference between a DJ and a music producer. As a DJ, my job isn't just to play music, it's to read a room, the vibe, the time of night, the city I'm in, the people dancing or not dancing. It's about interpreting an environment and stitching other people's music into a moment. Here in LA, KCRW is the radio station, known for shaping culture and helping generations of listeners discover new artists. And when I'm on the air, I love playing psychedelic rock records. But when I'm spinning live, I want grooves, I want people moving. So it's disco and it's soul. But here's the thing about it. After years of digging through crates, I've never really found a record that perfectly blends all three of my favorite genres. And that's the limit of being a DJ. I can only play what already exists. Producers, though, producers get to create things that don't exist yet. So in this episode, I'm stepping over that line. I'm gonna try to create a record from scratch, one that blends psychedelic rock, disco, and soul all into a single track. And I'm not doing it alone. We're gonna record with 3 different artists in 3 different neighborhoods all over my hometown, Los Angeles. I'm Tyler Boudreau, and this is Band of Strangers, the show where we make music from scratch with artists who've never met. Every episode is a story of a brand new song, a collaboration between people from totally different walks of life, and an exploration of a city through the lens of the musicians that call it home. We're here in Los Angeles, California, Chinatown to be specific, and we're gonna meet up with some friends who are gonna show us around, take us to their practice space, and we're gonna make some music. Let's go. All right, so we're here in Chinatown with my buddy Guy Keltner. He's from the garage rock band Acid Tongue, and these are his bandmates, Pat and Miles. Real quick, let me give you a little background on Acid Tongue. They started playing over a decade ago in a Seattle basement, but quickly became one of the most respected bands in garage rock. The band behind Freak Out Records and the Freak Out Festival, and a DIY scene that's pulled artists together from across the globe. And now they've chosen to bring that energy down here to Los Angeles. And I'm wondering, why Chinatown?
Chinatown was a haven for the punks in the late 70s.
Yes, shout out Madame Wong.
Yeah, Madame Wong's, exactly. Hong Kong cafes. There's a lot of art galleries and cool nightclubs around here, but there's also a lot of cheap rehearsal spaces. I'm actually squatting in their space. LA's expensive.
Chinatown is tucked between Echo Park and the Arts District, a true crossroads of downtown LA's music scene. With its offbeat venues and neon-lit backrooms, it's become a collision point of punk music, dance clubs, indie rock, and the avant-garde. It's one of the most quietly influential neighborhoods in LA's music scene, and it's the perfect place for us to start our journey. Wait, what is this?
This used to be a koi pond. I remember when my cousin was a kid, he had a goldfish that he put in here and they would come visit.
Oh, they would
But
come visit.
I think the goldfish is dead now. This is LA to me right now. This actually represents LA pretty well. Look, the beautiful hills, the disgusting valley.
A sense that it used to be cool.
Yeah.
That one hurt a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Enough ragging on my city. It's time to get down to business and start working on this song. This is where the magic happens. Okay, so the reason I'm at their practice space is because we're trying to lay the foundation for a song that will eventually grow into something bigger. What if there was a world where we could make a song, a psychedelic rock soul disco song?
That sounds pretty cool.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
So now that we've established the blend of genres, there's really only one question left.
What speed do we want? Do we want indica or cocaine? I think it's disco, so we gotta go cocaine speed.
So you established yourself in Seattle, really cultivated a scene out there. What kind of drew you to make your way down to Los Angeles?
I had a very disastrous period in my life where I acted like a fucking nut job for many, many months, if not a couple years. And it sort of ruined a lot of things in my life, whether it was my relationship, my marriage. It ruined my relationship with some of my friends. My relationship with Seattle even got tough. I couldn't stay there anymore, and I had to basically restart. I just bought a one-way ticket and found a place to live. Like, I didn't really think much about it. I'm kind of lucky to be able to move down here and be around my family. My Uncle Guzmano has Alzheimer's right now, so I'm especially involved in helping caretake for him. It meant a lot to sort of focus my energy on something good in the midst of something really bad in my life. Getting to know myself again and getting to know LA and developing a very positive and healthy relationship with a community. This song is about when you are at a nightclub or some sort of big event and you're on a bit of drugs and your significant other and you get in a big fight because you love each other a lot, but like you don't know how to handle your emotions. I'm trying to think of what to do for the lyrics. I need like a thematic element.
I mean, it has to be sexy.
It's gotta be sexy.
It's gotta be sexy.
We have to have love in the song. Okay. I got it.
Love me for an hour, love me for a day, love me to the end of time. Wait another day, then you're gonna say, you get yours and I get mine.
Fuck, we might have to change something real fast. Hold on a second. Because I say love me for the day, and then you say wait another day.
Yeah. Days in there.
There's a lot of days. You understand that.
What about moments instead of days?
Yeah.
Wait another minute is the way.
Yeah,
Minute.
Wait another minute, then you're gonna say, you get yours and I get mine. Take me out to heaven, save me from this hell, I'm gonna make you mine. Love me for an hour, love me for a day, love me to the end of time.
That sounds so good!
Okay, well, we got a chorus.
That's right, we have a chorus, and we've got a great backbone for the journey ahead. The drums and bass are giving us the classic disco rhythm section, and Guy's guitar and vocals have the perfect garage rock fuzz. But there's a lot of stuff that we're still missing. So you're definitely thinking it could use some keys.
I think definitely synth is going to be a must. And
I'm thinking that too.
It's got to be dirty. I think it's got to be. Are we allowed to leave notes? Can we leave a little notes or no notes? I mean, if you do have anybody that can play strings, I doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But if there was somebody that brought in like a violin and a fucking...
Dude, that'd be sick. So Guy doesn't have faith that we're going to find someone who plays strings, but I've got a little trick up my sleeve. See, the next artist I'm planning to bring onto this track is known for his disco grooves, but he also happens to play the cello. My plan is to bring the session we started in Chinatown to his studio, and then we can see if he can amplify that disco flavor. His name is Zeke Reed, and he lives in an Airstream trailer that sits on top of a hill in one of LA's most beloved hippie towns, Topanga Canyon.
There's a mouse on the loose in here somewhere.
Does it eat cables and shit?
This sub started rattling at some point. It's like, what the fuck? And I opened it up, and there were 3 dead mice in the cone.
Oh my gosh, what?
Pretty gnarly.
That's some Topanga shit for real though. For decades, Topanga has been a creative hideout for songwriters, poets, and bands, all looking for space to experiment with their music. Not the polished studio kind of music, the barefoot, barn door open kind. So we're here at the Topanga Stardust studio, up high in the mountains, and we're about to listen to what we laid down with Acid Tongue, and we're just gonna see how we feel today and then see what inspiration we can hear from it.
It's a good bass layer. It kind of gives me a like a Franz Ferdinand
Oh,
or like Interpol kind of energy to it, but I think we could point it in more of a modern new disco direction.
I mean, you are the psychedelic space disco guy, so...
So they say.
So they say, so the Instagram bio reads.
And then also, there's a little bit of percussion in it, but we have a big bag of percussion, so I always For all my tracks, I layer up a nice.
What do you mean? Like, are we talking shakers?
Oh, we talking everything.
I'm like,
We got the
okay.
you know, the kalimba, we got the woodblock, we got the tambourines, we got the cowbell, I found this in Joshua trees, a can that I
that's
put some Joshua
amazing.
trees sand in.
Wait. We're in a really good spot right now. We're making some space disco flavors right now to the psychedelic soul disco rock jam. And you could tell Zeke is in the zone. We got the disco ball on now. Zeke, you were born and raised in Topanga. Can you talk a little bit about the musical elements of this beautiful canyon town?
Yeah, I mean, it's got a very storied history in that regard. Like in the 60s and 70s, there's a real who's who up here. There's Neil Young recorded Harvests up here, and Marvin Gaye lived up here. And now, still to this day, I mean, there's so many artists up in this canyon. You can't basically throw a rock without hitting someone that plays music. Yeah, I mean, I will say on every song I put this guy here, the Juno. So this is the emulation of the 106 and the 60, which are like the two most famous synths from the 80s. That always gives a nice texture to it.
So, for anyone who doesn't know about the Juno 106 and the 60, you are definitely not alone. Even as someone who loves the sounds that come out of these synths, to be totally honest, I've never heard of them either. But I'm learning fast, and I'm stoked to have them on this track. What do you think about Topanga Canyon attracts musicians? You said that people and artists come looking for some peace, but what about the environment offers that peace?
It's just a different pace of life up here. I mean, we're on a dirt road currently, overlooking the canyon, living in a vintage Airstream, as I do. So I think you're so close to LA relative to what you get here that it feels like an escape.
Looking out at the canyon and experiencing the nature around you, does that inspire you to make music?
I'm very inspired by nature, and I'm very inspired by like the West and kind of cowboy culture and Western wear and Americana, and all those influences really continue to resonate in Topanga.
I was really excited to record cello with Zeke, but a couple days before our session, he actually hit me up with some bad news. His cello had recently gotten stolen out of the back of his car. But by some ridiculous stroke of canyon luck, his next-door neighbor just so happened to have a cello he could borrow for our session. Crisis averted.
Oh. The student tape on this really nice cello. I hate that. She should just give this to me.
Will you flash your rings for the camera? Let's show this. Let's get the ring cam
got
on.
the watch as well. It's all sterling and turquoise. Part of the uniform up here, you might say.
You get yours, I get mine. You get yours, now I get mine.
We came to Topanga looking for synths and strings, but leaving our session, I feel like we actually got a little more than that.
You get yours, I get mine. You get yours, I get mine.
A little bit of that canyon magic that LA artists have chased after for so many years. But we've got a whole other genre that I want to add to this track, and that's going to take us across the city again to Baldwin Hills. Baldwin Hills has always been a center of Black art, culture, and creativity. Jazz, R&B, gospel, these sounds didn't just pass through here, they grew here. And right in the middle of it all sits Kenneth Hahn State Park, a place where weekend cookouts and family reunions blend into a soundtrack all their own. Up here, you get sweeping views of the whole city, but you also feel connected to something deeper, heritage. It's the perfect place to bring this journey home and to give our song the soul it's been waiting for. Today, we're here at the Japanese Garden in beautiful Kenneth Hahn State Park, and we're gonna meet up with the singer who's gonna add that finishing touch of soul to our psychedelic soul disco rock fusion. Bradley J is a singer that's been on my radar for a while. I followed her journey as an artist, and I know what we're presenting her today is pretty far from her style, so I'm kind of curious to see what she will be able to contribute. So we're gonna play the track for her as it is right now. I really just wanna get her vibe on it. I want her to really feel the music. And then we're gonna ask her to, add some harmonies, her vocals, her lyrics.
I love that.
That's kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
Do you kind of see
Yeah.
where you could slide in and bounce on it?
For
and
sure.
Okay.
For sure. Oh, that's hella fun.
Love me, love me, love me, love me, love me.
I wanna hear you just fucking give it your all in one.
Okay. All right.
Wait another minute, then you're gonna say you'll get yours and I'll get mine. Love me.
So we're here at Kenneth Hahn State Park with Bradley J.
Kenneth Hahn is like my happy place. Growing up in Ladera Heights, literally up the street from here, whether it was a church picnic or a family picnic, coming here to hike with friends, I was just here on the other side, right? So I feel like with Kenneth Hahn, especially the Black community in LA, I don't feel like it's exclusive, obviously, but because it's centered in between View Park, Ladera Heights, and even Inglewood's not far from here, this is our park. Could we hear that bridge part? Levitate above the world, your love takes me to outer earth. You fill the void up in my heart. I knew I loved you from the start. Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Okay, casual.
Levitate above the world, your love takes me to outer earth. You fill the void up in my heart. I knew I loved you from the start. Levitate above the world, your love takes me to outer earth. Fill the void up in my heart. I knew I loved you from the start.
So we've had 3 sessions, and I'm loving everything we've recorded so far, but I'm not sure that it's feeling like a finished track. Guy, Zeke, and Bradley, they all have their own distinct styles, and there isn't necessarily any chemistry between them yet. And that's why, as a music producer, it's so important to get the mix right. We need to make sure that everyone has their own sonic lane in the song, and that their voices aren't just colliding with one another. So the last stop for the song is going to take us up to Northeast LA to do a mixing session with Grammy-winning mix engineer Zach Jurich. We're here in Eagle Rock at Zach's studio, and we're going to put the final touches on Love Me Till the End of Time. What were your kind of thoughts? Were you kind of overwhelmed by the session and number of tracks?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in there.
Yeah.
It was a fun little mix though. I heard a lot of things that I like from a lot of different bands. Okay, how can we make that lead guitar sound like a Lord Huron thing, but they've also got a little bit of the strokes going on with the vocal layers. Bradley brings a whole other element, so I'm where can we take that section to push it a little bit more in her vibe? And then the cello is okay, never would have thought to do that, but opportunity struck.
I know.
Love me for an hour, love me for the day, love me to the end of time. Wait another minute, then you're gonna say, you get yours and I get mine.
These speakers really expensive, but if you don't think my final test is the AirPods, you're crazy. If it doesn't sound good while I'm walking my dog in the morning, the next day, then the mix is trash.
I don't know. I definitely want to hear some more synths. So I feel like that's my first note. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's give Bradley's vocal a little love here too.
Love me, love me, love me, love me, love me, love me.
Throwback, old 60s record vocal with some plate reverb, a little slapback delay.
Levitated above the world, your love takes me to outer earth. Fill the void up in my heart, I knew I loved you from the start.
Wait, what was the quote? It's like, should we do cocaine tempo or?
Wait, what speed are we going? Are we doing cocaine or indica?
I'm never gonna say 126 beats per minute again. That is now cocaine tempo.
You know how we started this song?
Yeah.
Could we end it that way? I mean, could we try it? Music doesn't happen in a vacuum. It comes from people and it comes from places. We traveled all over Los Angeles to record this song, from Chinatown to Topanga Canyon to Baldwin Hills and finally Eagle Rock. 4 neighborhoods with completely different identities. Put together, these places gave us something that shouldn't work on paper, but somehow fits perfectly in this moment, in this city. And for me, this journey mattered. I'm not a traditional musician, but I trust my ear. And I know how music makes you feel. I wanted to make a track that combined the danceability of disco with the hazy textures of psych rock. And I wanted a soul vocal that soared above it all. This process proved to me that I can help shape the tracks that I would want to spin as a DJ. And yeah, you might just hear this one on the radio in LA, Thursday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. on KCRW. Thanks for coming on this ride with us. If you liked the journey, hit like, comment, subscribe. Every click and share helps us keep traveling, keep discovering, and keep making music with strangers. For Band of Strangers, I'm Tyler Boudreau.